everybody. Welcome to the Straight Talk for the Soul Global Masterclass Series. I'm Carrie Murphy, your creator and the host of this global broadcasting community. I am absolutely and completely delighted to be here with you today and to present yet another brand new season beginning today. Today with the beautiful Aurora Juliana Ariel as my kickoff speaker for this incredible new season. Our topic is Divine Codes to Actualize Your Full Potential. So fasten your energetic seatbelts, everybody. It's going to be another beautiful ride and adventure today. I am absolutely honored to welcome all the new members and participants of this expanding global community. It is such a privilege and a joy to have you here. I invite you to slow down and breathe deeply and stretch and move. Get the energy flowing. Smile, smile, smile. Place your hand on your heart if inspired. Intend to be in the most open, loving, receptive space to receive all the insights and all the healing that your soul intends for you to receive and experience today. And just prepare for some upliftment and expansion, my friends. Because if you're ready for some profound timeline shifting, if you're ready to be free and liberated from maybe what's felt like a life sentence of suffering, or if you're ready to experience some divine healing transmissions and activations to accelerate your ascension and to assist you in embodying more of the light that you are, then you're in the perfect divine space at the perfect divinely designed time, I should say, right here and now. So let's intend for something beautiful to unfold today, healing on every level. Humanity is receiving so much beautiful assistance from the realms of light at this time to support us in creating a really fascinating and new dimensional reality personally and collectively on our planet. And today, Aurora will be providing some exciting updates on the awakening, on Ascension, some alchemical keys to Self Actualization. We're going to talk about how to heal your life and change your destiny. We'll discuss violet souls and their mission on Earth that is changing the future. We have a lot to talk about, and Aurora is also going to be offering a powerful healing activation and transmission toward the end of the call today, so stay tuned for that. And is intended to really support everyone who is present here, for your families, for humanity, and for the whole world. So that's going to be beautiful. And your participation being here with us today is supporting this transformative upgrade in consciousness. So thank you for being here and contributing your light to this sacred circle that is expanding so beautifully every day. Now, again, my co-creative partner is an absolutely beautiful and pure vessel for positive planetary change right now. And I'm excited to have her here to share her light and love and, of course, all the amazing energy and activations that she offers, which are just gifts, beautiful gifts from the divine realms intended to support us in ascending in consciousness and also in recoding humanity in our DNA so we can embody our full potential. That's why we're here. That is why you're here. That's why you're here with us today. There's no mistake if you felt called to join us. So thank you for listening to that call as we come together to usher in this era of light on our planet. It is no accident. I get so excited about this that souls like us are being called together. This is all by divine design as we unite to assist our planet in this powerful transition. And so now I just want to ask my favorite question, and most of you know this if you listen. What's the best that could happen today? What is the absolute best that could happen as a result of sharing this time and space with the beautiful Aurora Juliana Ariel and myself today? Feel it, imagine it, intend for it, and trust for a magnificent unfolding today. And now allow me to tell you about Aurora, and then we're going to get started. She will be taking your calls today, so press *2 to raise your hand if you've called in by phone, and we'll be getting to some of those calls a little bit later. Aurora Juliana Ariel is a best-selling author. She's a pioneering doctor whose research and work have given her a profound understanding of the psyche and the tools to heal humanity. She holds over 38 certificates and degrees in advanced healing methods, as well as a PhD in psychology. She's also a kahuna in the Hawaiian healing tradition. She awakened in her teens, and this inspired her mission, and she's dedicated her life to the healing advancement of humanity. And at that young age, she received an extraordinary divine sponsorship that helped guide her destiny, giving her a vast body of knowledge, deep understanding of global conditions, their underlying causes and remedies, and an exceptional healing ability. And that's resulted in countless transformed lives since she was 16. Wow. she has found that every issue can be resolved, every pattern can be healed, and that we can actually change the conditions of our lives. And she was inspired to translate her knowledge into healing and life-forming media production. So she set up her own multimedia company, which was resulted in releasing 50 products in all these different areas: music, books, audio CDs. She does so much. And she was inspired in 2014 to begin giving soul remedy healings, and in 2015 to open a monthly global healing forum for personal and planetary transformation. And so countless lives have and people have received the blessing of this divine healing with tremendous results. These healings include DNA restoration, divine encoding and activation, chakra purification and alignment, brain chemistry rebalancing, physical healings, subconscious clearings, and more, facilitated by the divine ones in the realms of light. It is such an honor to hold a space today for each of you to receive the blessing of her light and the blessing of this divine healing yourself. So please help me welcome this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul to the show. Aurora, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. We're in the light of the solstice, and it's such a glorious time to launch your show, and unexpectedly, because I didn't think I was going to get it done this fast, but I am releasing my new book, The Sacred Alchemist, Alchemical Keys to the Ascension, as we speak. So tomorrow the word starts going out, and I wanted to add it in. If anybody feels inspired to get one of my packages today, please email me that receipt, and we'll send you this ebook of my new book. And I am really excited to bring these.
That is exciting. Congratulations.
I know. Just doing the last little things hot off the press and asking my friends around the world if they please spread the word, because it's actually going to be the ebook free for 5 days on Kindle starting tomorrow, but I can just send everybody who wants to get a package too today that I can gift that to you right away, and with my joy.
That is awesome. Well, I am celebrating with you. I know that everything that you offer is truly transformational. So I'm sure this is going to be another a beautiful sharing. And I'm so happy you're here, Aurora, because this is your first time with this community. And so I know a lot of them are already familiar with you, and some may not be. So I want to begin with talking a little bit about your journey, just to give people some background. When did the divine begin to speak through you? I mean, I know it was a young age when you received that divine sponsorship, which I'd love to hear about. But when did all this happen? And just tell us a little bit about the journey.
About 13, 14 years old. So I was living a pretty normal life, and I always kind of joke around saying, you know, my parents were Barbie and Ken in Malibu. So just an idyllic Malibu Beach, Malibu Colony, grow-up life where I never heard of any of these kind of things, nor was I ever spoken to about the planetary conditions, suffering, what's happening, wars, except for, you know, we'd have those bomb shelter drills in Malibu, and so my parents were great, but back then, not that deep. And so I didn't know anything. I was an innocent, and I guess maybe that was good because I was a clean slate, and I started having divine visitations and awakenings, remembrance, and then I remembered right before this life and what we were all preparing and what we're coming into, and that we were here to upgrade the planet and help humanity move into a beneficent future, that there were many of us, and today that counts about 400 million and from actual demographics. So we came in, and one of the things we decided to do was to really transform the planet. We had to take on the ills of humanity. We had to take on the patterns and beliefs and programs from different family lines we chose to come into, and regions and societal, religious, all those programs. And so we mapped it out to come in all over the world simultaneously within, this certain amount of years, and that we would be healing and transforming it and actualizing our greater potential and stepping forth into the world as our eternal, immortal beings, spirits, and bring our offerings. So this is what we've been about, and I'm sure all of you are into the awakening, the ascension. This is what it is. This is why we're here. I think one of the things that make it so hard for everyone is because at most everyone forgot we were going to take on the patterns to transmute them, not to play them out and get lost in them. And so that's a lot of the keys I bring for my work in the psyche and developing sacred alchemy and developing the quest, 7 steps, about how to be always transforming your life really fast and continuing on a very fast, accelerated path.
Yeah, you're definitely speaking my language, and I think the language of all of our listeners, because I would venture to guess that anybody who listens to a show like this or is drawn to it, and to speakers like yourself, we all plan to be here. And that's why I said there's a grand design here for all of us coming together, and I love the work that you're doing. I also love your connection, by the way, with the fairies and the elementals. Love that.
Grateful for that connection, and we all had that connection.
Yes.
And humanity had it because they're dwelling kind of interface with the physical plane, yet just at a higher dimension. And so as we're all awakening, that's why we're coming back in touch with them and with the realms of light, where humanity forever was out of touch with their selves, their spirits, their higher self, their, these higher realms. But now we're just, the violet souls, which is the name I coined for us because we're very violet. We're very much into personal and planetary transformation, and we're the ones kind of breaking through the barriers, and we're on fire to help transform the planet. And as we're raising in our consciousness in this ascension process into the truth of who we are and dissolving all that we are not, we're coming in contact with these beautiful realms of crystal beings. And, I'm sure all of you have crystals in your homes. Our parents did not do this,
Exactly.
Our parents were not running around the planet oming and meditating at sacred sites or like up to higher realms in our meditations, or going into the future like I like to do under hypnosis and meditations. And so we're kind of a crazy group that hit the planet all at once and kind of blew the minds of the slower evolving souls here that I'm sure are still just acclimating to us.
Yes, and so it's funny because sometimes someone will show up here as, a friend of a friend or even a family member of my own that doesn't really understand what the heck I do. But, they're like, what are you talking about? But generally, everyone here is very, very progressive with regard to their mission here and why we're all here and all of that great stuff. So with regard to your work, I know the codes that you offer, they really do restore the DNA, and with all the activations that you do, what is it for you as this has evolved for you? What does it feel like when it's actually happening through you, when you're delivering and sharing these transmissions? What does it feel like?
A lot of light flowing in, like I'm in a river of light, and it starts days before the Global Healing Forums. And today, because I'm going to facilitate one on your show, it starts early on, and I feel like I'm bathed in this amazing light coming from the divine realms, and everything's all sparkly and uplifted, and I feel a sense of joy. And then as I'm giving the transmission, I'm just a vessel of it. However, the divine ones, they're not coming into my body or any kind of weird mediumship type of thing.
Right.
It's just a clear stream of their divine consciousness through my vessel and all of our vessels, really. And it's been such a joy, like, to give the global healing forums every month, which were divinely initiated and orchestrated, and to receive these divine ones. And I've received Queen Fiona from the Fairy Kingdom, the Elementals. I mean, it's just been amazing who's come forward. And then the Elohim, the Archangels, and a lot of divine beings. So as it's going on, we're getting purified. And I'm witnessing all this like I'm watching a living color movie. And it's panoramic, and it's beyond global, which has been very interesting. It's been from the world. And that was kind of mind-blowing to me as Awakening Heart Network, who sponsors them for me, like they host it. And you know, we all have inner sight. We're all witnessing, wow, it's going way beyond the planet, all these beings, you know. And so, you know, I've just started to learn a little bit more about, well, how many worlds there really are and how many people in the matter planes that we're reaching, not just this planet. I see a lot of, like, the Elohim do a lot of, like, mighty work. They lift up dark matrices off the planet and people and dissolve it in the light, and rivers of darkness and ancient records of wars and calamities in the planet and also in the psyche of humanity. Very key is all the work in the psyche of humanity. And then a lot of unburdening and cleansing of the elementals, the Earth Mother, and the waters. They've done a lot of work for Fukushima. They stopped the hurricane, that really scary one coming up the East Coast some months ago. I just downgraded it through healing the psyches of humanity, and what was drawing that in, and where they were calling it a fatal and the worst storm ever, and it just smashed Haiti and then was hitting Florida, and it just downgraded. And so seeing a lot of help for all of us. And the codes, they activate, from what I understand, we are coded in our divinity, but then we have all these overlays. And then when our brain chemistry is messed up from all the chemicals and, you know, and things that we've been ingesting, fluoride and chemtrails and on and on and on, we haven't been operational and functional in our full potential self capacity. And, you know, we've heard this forever, we're only living 3% of our capacity. Well, this is opening up the full capacity. But the divine ones are doing it incrementally. So we're not like, whoa, you know, like that movie Limitless all in one moment, but we are becoming activated. Our divinity is becoming activated. Our divine selves are being activated, and the human self is falling away, and the human programs are getting transformed. And so we're rising into this glory of our true nature, and that's shifting our whole holographic field and altering the future more beneficent each time. So that's about it in a nutshell. Lots
of layers to that, right?
I feel like I'm in a Disney movie. It's that epic, you know. So
I love it. So would you recommend to the listeners who really feel like they want to be more supportive of this shift to call upon the Elohim or the elementals themselves to work with them? Would you suggest that?
Yes, I think, you know, also follow your inner divine self unfailingly. That's something when I was woken up to these realms, to these divine ones, I also woke up to some kind of understanding or knowing that was like, I'm here to be a vessel of healing and light, which we all are, and the one way to fulfill that destiny is to follow my inner divine self unfailingly. And when you think about all the saints and sages through times, they communed with the higher realms and got blessings and assistance, golden tablets, things for humanity. They also were following their inner divine self. They weren't following the latest fad or the religion of the time. They were on their own solo, unique journey to enlightenment, to awakening, and everything they went through. And it wasn't easy, like when you look at the life of Siddhartha Gautama, who became the Buddha, so revered to this time. I mean, he went through every kind of life situation, but he was following this inner calling. And Yogananda and all, Jesus, they were rebels, I guess you could say, that were unconventional. St. Francis of Assisi, he threw his clothes off and walked out, of that world of reality to follow his inner calling. So, number one, we need to follow our inner calling. And number two, I would say we need to know what voice is what inside of us, because we have younger aspects of ourselves I call inner aspects. They're called subpersonalities in psychological terms, but they're part of us that are programmed, that are wounded, that are living at limiting beliefs that we took on through, the hard hits in life and from our family lineages. And if we took over for a soul lineage and to help, evolve the planet quickly in this time, more than they could have done in their slower evolution, we took on all that. So that means we have masses of these inner subconscious aspects clamoring for attention, driving us in certain directions, undoing our life in every area. And for years I've traced the adverse conditions in, countless people, thousands across the planet, in their lives back to these aspects, to the unconscious. So it's really important, I found, and I live this way, to adopt a life mastery path where you're actually doing the inner work, healing these aspects rather than letting them play out. And the byproduct of that is you end up restoring yourself back to your true, authentic self in every session, and then you are back in your positive, proactive self, riding that high destiny wave. And the difference is, if we live out of our programs and these limiting beliefs and let these aspects run all day with their upsets and stresses and unhappiness and unfulfillment, nothing will ever change, and the planet won't change. It's really the key, that one of the most powerful alchemical keys I can deliver to humanity this time is that we must heal and transform these. And they all link up into our family lineages and globally and beyond global, as we've been seeing. So, when we do this cleanup work, we're actually doing it for all of us. And what it gives us is the ability to live in our true nature most of the time, and then to be very skilled and masterful in dealing with the shadows. So that's what this latest book's about. That's what the quest, Heal Your Life, Change Your Destiny, that's part of the package, is about. That's what the this process that I developed, the 7 steps, to help us clear fast, shorten the time of misery. Why play it out if we don't need to? It wasn't even ours. This is not who we are. And, become masters and live this Edenic life. Even now, even though the world's still in the throes of this great travail, we're birthing a new world, and it has to be birthed in our consciousness and in our physical reality. So that's such a great joy to give everybody. And I just wanted to mention, because you had put out a number, this latest book is number 68, hot off the press of our humanity.
Yay! Good for you.
And lots more to come. I'm like a woman on fire.
I love it. So let me ask you this: when you are working with people personally, like in one of our offers today, one of them is includes a private session with you. When you were talking about people healing, the unconscious or the subconscious and some of these things, what actually happens in one of those sessions with you?
So the person comes, their soul really, and higher self really directs what's going to be accomplished, what can be accomplished. So I never look at myself as the healer, but as a vessel, and that the person coming is the healer of their own soul. So they're choosing this. If they want to rock and roll and have a fast clearing and acceleration and be on a whole nother level, they'll find this. And so what happens in the sacred alchemy and the soul remedy, soul destiny healing, is the person comes and I invoke the divine and they share. And as they're sharing, I see the matrix that they're in. I see this next piece of their puzzle to be healed and to free them. And many times people have been trapped in these matrices held in by the human programs that are life sentences of suffering. Mm-hmm. And if they're not cleared, they're just going to keep creating havoc. When I take people through the 7 steps, which I don't in the soul remedy, I just, rock and roll on it and would clean it up. It's like what my daughter prefers, that fast mystical thing I do, she calls it, I don't
do that fast mystical.
You just do that mystical thing you do, and I go, okay, tell me all about it. I see the aspects. The aspects all get transformed, and then the divine does their special blessing, because in the soul remedy ones, I include a personal divine healing, straight from the divine, and what they share. So it's a transmission activation, and they do a lot. And then I actually send that recording so people can listen. And people have really treasured their message direct from the divine. A lot of times the Book of Life's open. We can see, or they'll read the precepts and vows that were set up, and the soul destiny, and give guidance and love and assistance. So it's very empowering, very powerful. And then listening to their own activation and the other activations, your life changed exponentially. That's why I gave so many in the package, because if people use every Monday, then every Tuesday they have their 7 or whatever, how many number, and do a 33-day with these things, you will not believe how much clearing has taken place, how much freedom, who you are now, who you left behind, of the old self. And then it can give you an idea of what a gift these activations are. And then, of course, when we play them, it fills our homes, it fills our community, it brings in just megatons of light from the divine realm. So it reactivates the Temple of Sacred Alchemy, and the divine ones are able to just keep giving and keep healing and keep restoring. So it's like opens a portal, and it's a key, and it's an invitation. And so every time we replay, every time we re-listen, we're just opening that portal and asking the divine to come in and bless our world and us and our families. And it's tremendous what Elohim and archangels and great cosmic beings and angels can accomplish. And, that's all part of the divine plan, because we are them, and we came to be physically here to do this part, and they stay behind and they're doing their part. So that's why, not only is it important we're all linking up as vessels of light and healing, they're linking up with us. And this is all under the great divine plan. And then we've got the elemental kingdoms who have kicked in big time to help us, because they're very good at changing things in the physical, and they can help us with all things physical, not only make our gardens nice, but make the gardens of our life flourish and help us re-anchor heaven on earth and that Garden of Eden in our life experience, and have that abundant life, because they are very abundant and they know the code for abundance, and so they help us to restore ourselves to that abundant life and way up.
Yeah, and since you do have, you have tremendous insight into what's going on with the planet at this time. From your perspective, where are we now?
We're in a huge, fast acceleration. 2017, we really hit into what was going to be a little bit rocky passage as it began, kind of as if we were a ship going through a narrow waterway with cliffs and rocks to get to the open sea. And so as everyone has experienced, that has been a lot of kind of upheaval emotionally and things going on physically, because this is like a significant point in time where all of us need to make our choice, like line up with this amazing future. That means we need to be more masterful now. We can't really be giving way to our inner aspects, crying and moaning and complaining and having arguments and fights and not treating ourselves well. I mean, that has to stop. Because we're the ones that came to birth the new world, and we need to be living in it now. So this is that pivotal year. 2012 was a very big catalyst. For us, we did a huge leap. 2014, we came into more loving, more consciousness. This year, it's like wake up. Like, this is it already. You know, we have to be living the life. We need to be masters. And that doesn't mean we're never going to get upset and we're never going to have an issue. It means we need to be masters of cleaning up the issues, resolving them for the last time, healing our inner aspects, bringing our bodies back to health, cleaning our homes of the clutter, living in that high vibration, eating the pure foods, listening to the high vibrational music and other activations, other things. This is it. This is the choice point in it all, where we have an exponential mass of people awakening. And if we can make this next leap into all of us committing absolutely to follow our inner divine selves, live true to that self, align ourselves with the highest vision, affirm and live that highest destiny, and clean up our unconscious wounds and past and programs, everything's going to be pretty amazing. And this year, I've been receiving a lot of information, and the last activations of the Global Healing Forums have been from 2023, as well as the Divine Realms of Light. So, you know, I'd love to share even more about all that, of what we're looking at in the years, and for my journeys, and some pretty amazing journeys I've taken into the future since 2012.
That was what I was just going to ask you about. So, yes, you just led me into that, because, you've journeyed into the future numerous times, and I know you've mentioned that, you know, even the updates between now or even 2012 through 2033, and that the future is actually very different than we could even imagine. So let's talk about that. And let's talk about, well, when you say that you have journeyed into the future, but with there being multiple infinite timelines, are we talking about the highest potential timelines? Is that what we're referring to when you mention that? Or share a bit more about that.
Yes. From when I've been shown the future and taken in the future, gone into the future, it's always the highest probability given the largest momentum that's taking place on the planet. And this has been really heartening, because, like I said, in my teens, I remembered we had come for this purpose, and so my whole life's been about this. And then I received many visions of the future, but I also received visions of the dark potentials that we're here to avoid. And in that, I think we're doing a great job, absolutely. I mean, Fukushima is the worst of it at this point, but we've done a really good job. And let's all just keep sending light for Fukushima so we can get that cleaned up, and it's kind of worse than anyone is being told. So just take my word for it and shine your light on that. And Elohim, the Divine Ones, have been helping. I have made a lot of changes from my being visited from the future, and the most significant one was in 1999. I was just overamped on this planetary transformation thing. I was like doing this major global project, and just 10 million things all at once. I was on fire. I've been on fire for years, and I was contacted by my future self from 2027. And at that point in time, in 1999, she showed me a future I didn't want, because I was heading 7 trusts. I had been, my whole life was service, and she told me, as she showed me all this, that the world hadn't even changed very much, because there was a different alchemy that needed to take place, that all this doing, all this creating, all these wonderful projects could not accomplish alone. And I was kind of shocked. So I'm like, okay. She's saying, I'm showing you this because the future doesn't have to be this way. And I went, all right. So I spent the next days going up and down that timeline, because now I had access to it. And I just saw myself on the phone and doing projects and never having a life and wonderful relationships and not living the life I live now, over this dutiful, service-oriented reality I was in. And so then I went back to her. I said, look, I don't want this future. What other kind of future could I have? And she showed me, and I went, okay, and she said, you are one of a soul group who has this momentum, beliefs and patterns, and that's why you're all overdoing it. And that is not accomplishing the future that you came to fulfill, because it's overstressing you, and you're not living the life, and you're not in the consciousness for the new world. You're a big doer, but you're a stressed out doer. You're heading nonprofit or humanitarian efforts, but you're all stressed, and so you're all vibrating not at that right frequency. And the world hasn't changed all that much, but you have all your wonderful projects in there. And you all kind of picked this up from after the fall of Lemuria to try to restore the world. You've got this big momentum. I went, oh. And so the next days I realized, like, okay, I want to change it. But as I felt the momentum that was putting me into this reality and future, it was like 1,000 white stallions galloping to a future I no longer wanted. And I was like a little person, and they're all galloping to this place I don't want to go. So I did my sacred alchemy, the quest work. I healed all the pieces over the next days, and I set myself free. And it felt like I went on a right turn, a complete right turn off that path, and avoided that future. And so, as the years went on, I have learned more about the very actualization of ourself in this time and living in the presence, the loving presence of our divine natures does more than a million projects. And I've seen it with my own eyes. So that was really impactful, and I've had amazing other really significant journeys into the future as well, the one in 2012 and the one a bunch of them this year.
And so what are the highest potentials that you're seeing for us moving forward?
Well, it's very interesting in 2012 because all my colleagues were like all freaked out and the end of the Mayan calendar, and we're going to have these horrific winds and disasters and cataclysms and on and on and on. I'm like, no, I'm not seeing that. No, I'm not seeing that. So finally, in November, I was divinely commissioned to go in the future, and I went up to the higher realms of light, met with one of my dear friends that is revered to this day in Greece, Pallas Athena, goddess of truth, and she and I went into the future, and she told me a lot. And that was the highest probability in 2012. She showed me. And I saw that by 2014, we were like more of us in loving, and that love was changing the field. So I got to see energetically what it means when we rise into our higher natures and how that changes a planet and how much it does. Like, so this little doer girl, it's just awe-inspiring to see, like, the effortlessness of our spirits to affect a positive change. And then I went with her into 2020, and I was blown away. Like, the developing nations were leading the way of some incredibly innovative changes in agriculture, because people were tired of being sick all the time and living on meds and these denatured foods and chemicals. So there's a big shift in agriculture. There was a big shift where they were figuring out that taxing the people is not helping the world, and we're facing so many disasters that putting in programs that allow the people to flourish would allow them to attain their highest potential and bring out their talents, gifts, inventions into the world. So all that was taking place. California was still intact, and the world was still looking pretty good. And then I went into 2033, and I couldn't believe my eyes, like the level and degree of the transformation that we had all facilitated. Mm-hmm. I still today stand in awe of what we've accomplished and how it was really our consciousness shift that led the way and set the field and changed the field into that and allowed that reality, and then through our authentic selves birthing the golden age. It was really a beautiful beginning of the golden age. And what it looks like is harmony, peace, and love throughout most of the world, with a few factions still to clean up. And that was back in 2012, so I'm sure a lot's changed. But it just keeps getting better and better. But it had the world was pretty intact, and people were flourishing, and there had been a big cleanup of the planet. So there wasn't all these unattractive aspects to the world. They're just beautiful, picturesque towns and really high technology, really advanced technology that you couldn't see, but powering everything, free energy. Everybody, there's no poverty, suffering, misery, or illness, because we have the means to cure everything, and really a lot of high-tech healing that got instrumented, and we're kind of moving into that stage now with light healing and violet ray healing. All of these things that, doctors, scientists, and veterans are bringing forward, healing chambers and all that. And there was just so much loving and just so much joy, and people had largely moved away from greed and avarice like that. It had played out on the media so much, all the ills of humanity, that people were sick of it, and there was a major exodus away from all that, away from anything binding, away from, religions and societal beliefs and things that were causing suffering. And, we're birthing an age of light.
Yes. Well, and how has your experience shifted since, as you mentioned, you were very much a doer, and I think most of us, including myself and a lot of people on the call listening, have felt that way. Like we came here on a mission, like on fire to do this time, and really kind of balancing that out with shifting that so we're not doing, but maintain a frequency that is high enough to really make a grander impact here. How has your life shifted since you made some of those changes yourself?
Number one, it's taken a lot of inner work. That's why I live on my sacred alchemy. And because, when you're coming in to clean up a planet and to fix things and restore, and then you take on the beliefs and patterns of a society that is very work-oriented, and if you're not working, you're not accomplishing anything, and if you're just sitting like a Buddha, you're lazy and not a respected member of the community. So I had to go really contrary in my own psyche to that programming, to like a 360 to get into the truth. And the more I've been shown the truth by these visits in the future, and I see, like this year especially, getting a visit from my future self in 2023 and having her share the gratitude of how much I've been doing so that she's in this amazing state of grace in 6 years now. And then acclimating myself to that vibration and way of life. They're not like overworking, overstressed. They're like projects in joy, right? They're
Yes.
joyous endeavors, but everybody contributing. One of the biggest things for me was after that journey in 2012, I just literally felt my shoulders relax for maybe the first time in my whole entire life. Yeah, I just was like, oh my God, we're doing such a good job, and there's all of us. I'm not alone. We're not alone. We don't have to do everything under the sun. You know, there's enough of us to do it gracefully. And then as I've done the inner work, I've woken up more to the value of having a very balanced life, and I've been able to help a lot of people instrument their own optimum health and lifestyle programs so that, you know, we keep ourselves on track and on course. And it's really simple, very simple, but we take time for everything, for fun, for joy. We eat well, meditate, we do our inner work. We bring our offerings forward as we're inspired, not making ourselves and flogging ourselves like poor, worn-out horses.
Yes, exactly.
It's just a more joyous reality. But at the same time, you know, just very honestly, I didn't come in fully enlightened. You guys, if you're listening, probably did not as well. We chose to take on the pattern. So, you know, it's just a lot of diligence, and I'm always in a process of refining my nature and finding ever new pieces, you know, to transform and come into ever new aspects of who I am in a way of life that's just more and more beneficent.
Yes. And it's like a state of grace. I know for me, I mean, I used to be that way too. I was very, very busy. And now, I mean, I feel like so much more is done in a state of grace, in a state of joy. And when I hear you speak and when I hear the laughter, that's always such a clear indication to me that someone is really you know, enjoying the journey and really doing it from a space of lightness and grace and not forcing anything. And it's such a beautiful space to cultivate and to begin to live from. So it's beautiful to hear you say all that because I know so many people can relate to it. And, you know, when you talk about the Awakening Soul Group that you've coined the Violet People, what are some of the unique signatures of this group? And because I would imagine that many of our listeners might find them to be quite familiar if you mention them.
Yeah. I mean, there's 22 master signatures, master qualities I've identified, and I write all about it. There's 2012 to 33 books. They're come in and with a mission, know that they have a mission. Usually come into the planet, unless they're coming in recently, like being born in these years right up here where there's more conscious parents to be born to. They feel out of place and in this world and even their families and society. They're like feel like a fish out of water. And so that was hard early on when we came in because there wasn't a reception like, oh, you're here. It was more like thank and throw you into a thing, you know, by yourself, a bassinet by yourself. It's not like, you know, the greeting that like parents are doing today for their babies. And there's a universal quality that is fascinating because born into a time period and parents that probably were very set on their one religion and only eating the foods of their country and maybe a little deviation like here in America it was like spaghetti or, you know, pizza or, you know, if you were really, really exotic, Chinese way back then. And, you know, so we came in and we're very universal, we're very global. In our consciousness, we like, you know, you'll see violets will have altars and pictures in their home of Buddha and Mother Mary, and maybe they like, you know, kirtans, but also, you know, just such an eclectic awareness and appreciation of all the threads of truth throughout the planet, through all the religions, and a massive exodus away from religions that are binding and still archaic and teaching scary things that aren't really true. So there's big exodus. There's a caring about humanity and others. there's usually a big hurdles in a Mount Everest to overcome from taking on the patterns, working through them, coming out the other side, and assisting others from that knowledge, wisdom gain. There's a drive to become actualized and enlightened and be in the pure nature. So there's a lot of chafing, judgment, and shame around the shadow aspects, which I help route out in all my students and clients and get everyone in a right posture with these poor little younger aspects of ourselves that need our love, compassion, and caring, but not for us to be run by them. And, I mean, I could go on and on. There's romping around to sacred sites, interested in the ancient histories of the planet and the future, very determined to bring an offering to help humanity and the world at this time, and kind of on that theme.
Yes. I'm sure everybody listening is like, yes, all of that.
Yes,
me.
Yes. I know. I love it when people read those books and they send me an email going, I'm a violet. I think this is exciting to know our clan, know who we are, that we're not alone. Like, there's all these other very odd people on the planet, too.
Right.
We were
it's
so
our
different.
Tribe. It's our odd tribe. We're all together. That's what this show is all about. I get so many emails where about people, they feel like, oh my gosh, everything you guys talk about, this is me. I feel like I'm home. We can, it's just a place to feel connected to other people who are, we all came in to do this together. So, gosh, we have so much we could talk about, but I want to make sure that we get some callers in because we've had so many people with their hands up to speak with you. Before we do that, I want you to be able to share with us what you created in the package. And for those who there's lots of people with their hand up. Aurora, as we're talking about the package, for those with their hand up, what is the best way for them to come on the line with us so that it's most effective for you and us and our time together? What do you need from them when you speak with them?
Give me the download in about a minute flat, because if you share your dilemma or what you want healing around, it'll help me access it and aspects. So number one, that the causal level will be your inner aspects, the subconscious, that have been operating below your conscious awareness. That's where the healing starts. And so I'll help you heal those aspects very fast. And then there'll be the divine ones will be, the divine ones are actually already ministering to all of you. I can see what they're doing. There's like an infusion of light coming into your DNA, and so that DNA is like light filled. It's like it got turned on. And so there's a lot of repair, restoration happening right now, and blessings. And so don't be alarmed if you don't get on the call and get, a personal few minutes with me. There's a lot of healing going on. But I'm happy to talk to specifics and help you, whoever calls, to understand what's happening to you and why you've got the adverse condition and the remedy, and then we'll bring a piece, however big of a piece to the remedy, we'll do that. And some of these things are a journey, like if you have a long-term chronic illness, it might be a journey. It was a journey for me to heal my heart when I had an incurable heart condition when I was 33 and 2 heart attacks, and I was told I was going to debilitate very quickly to death. So, that was a journey of the inner work, the outer support. And so, it's really up to you and your divine selves how much gets released today. I've seen miracles where people have had deformities transform, and I've seen other people get an initiation of a head start, and to inspire them to keep on, because sometimes your journey, you need to do it to access and find out what's going on. And that's why I gave the Quest 7 steps, so you can find out aspect by aspect that you're clearing out of your adversity. You'll gain so much knowledge and awakening and enlightenment from it. So whether fast or long, it's all really good. So we'll do some fast stuff today, and because we don't have time to sit here for
Exactly.
100 years, so we're going to do.
Yes. So for those of you, if we call on you. Yeah, if you can just share your challenge or whatever adverse condition you are in about a minute or less, so that we can kind of just get in there and get some stuff done, that'd be awesome. But until then, we're going to get to those in just a minute. Aurora, if you could share, for those of you who are on the webcast, you can click on the special offer link. She has created 2 amazing special offer packages, or you can go to straighttalkforthesoul.com/marketplace. And she's on the very top because she's our first speaker for the season, so it's easy to find. So, Aurora, can you share with us what you have created?
I'm very excited to bring these offerings to you. The activations, there are 7 I'm giving. I'm giving 7 because each one does a different powerful thing for you, a powerful change for you, and activation, and they're hot off the press. They're just newly released, so there's no other packages anywhere that has these activations in them, so they're for you. And they're the Divine Code Activation Package with 7 Divine Healing Transmissions, audios, and those are the 7 Sacred Codes activations by Mother Mary, Amora, Elohim of Love, and other illumined ones from the realms of light. The second one is 7 Ray activations by 7 divine ones in the realms of light. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how powerful these are, but you will have to experience them to understand. And you get a little taste of this over 10 minutes. But these are really, really, really power-packed healings that can change your whole life. So Awakening the Lost Codes activation by the God and Goddess Maru, that is the third one. Oh, the second one was from the realms, Sonic Kumara and Venus, Helios and Vestal, Moria, 7 Holy Kumaras. We have our Venusian family from the etheric realms of Venus, Pallas Athena, Mother Mary, Alpha and Omega. I mean, it was unbelievable, the 7 activations. They came one after another, and it just was mind-blowing. So then the third one, Awakening the Lost Codes activation by God and Goddess Maru. I met them personally when I went to the Amaru Maru doorway in Lake Titicaca near Bolivia, and they have their etheric retreat there, and had a great blessing at that doorway. They are the ones that brought the gold disc to the Incas through that doorway from Lemuria. So they came in kind of a time portal kind of a thing from the past, I guess, from Lemuria, and gifted it to them, and it made their society flourish into a huge empire. And they would keep that golden disc in different of their regions, and they would start prospering. And they went way beyond everything technologically and about astronomy and healing and agriculture. So it was very tremendous. So they're helping these codes anchor the golden age on Earth and helping us get activated to play our part. Then the fourth one is the White Fire Activation by Alpha and Omega. For those who know Alpha and Omega, they are representatives of Father, Mother, God in the system of worlds, and from the Great Central Sun. They are amazing beings. Then the next one is the Diamond Light of Love Secret Love Star Activation by Venus and Sonic Kumara. Again, the Holy Kumaras, the Elohim of Love, Eros and Amora, Archangels, and Legions of Light. And so I think you're getting the idea. These are really power-packed.
They're layered.
Yeah, the Divine Logos Activation by Alpha and Omega. Again, Father, Mother, God, assistance, and then the Blu-ray activation by Archangel Michael. You want to clean up your towns, your businesses, your lives, your relationships. Keep playing this Blu-ray activation. I mean, it's powerful. And then I didn't want to just give you that. I kind of just pour it on because I love just giving. But there is the Indwelling Spirit, a most amazing book, ebook, that is from the inner divine self. And it was letters I received over 2 years, and I was so changed. I was so transformed. Then when I edited them for the release of this book, my girlfriend said, my best friend said, she had never seen anything like it in her life, how much I changed in 5 months. And just from doing that. And then so many people, they're just so light-filled with cups of light and healing matrices, as all of this is. And so it's just tremendous to open every day and read, or go, sequentially and read from page 1. Then there's been this music release through me from the realms of light in my homeland. And so this healing music is called Light from Realms Eternal, Healing Music for an Awakening World. And so just playing that in your homes keeps your vibration very high, keeps the whole vibration of your home, and people step in and they feel like they're in a temple, and it feels like you're in your homeland. And then I also gave this amazing sacred song that came in 2015 when I was in the King's Chamber, the Great Pyramid at Giza. So this song just came straight in, and it echoes through the whole pyramid, the Great Pyramid.
Wow.
So you hear this echoing, amazing, and it's incredibly healing. And then I also wanted to bring you the joy, because I know so many people are burdened in this time by the things that are going on, and I wanted you to be uplifted. And so the best way I could do it and put you in the magic and joy and wonder of this incredible time we're in is to add in the Earth 2012 to 33 book, Oracles of the Sea, Extraordinary Encounters with Dolphins. And
love it.
I know. And I mean, it was an uncanny experience. You'll have to read in the book. And when you read these stories, you're just in this magical world. It's so absolutely incredible. And then I gave you another book, The Violet Age, or Return to Eden. It's an Earth 2012 to 33 book, because that has tons of stories of violet souls and transformations and mystical happenings and all kinds of
fun
things.
Stuff.
And it just brings you joy and happiness. And what the series does is it really kind of proves to you that we are in a time of glory, and that there are people across the earth going through this amazing transfiguration, and that we're in this time of divine grace. And it's just so, it's so absolutely an amazing time to be alive. So if you have any doubts, read those books and get back infused, turn off the news, and infuse yourself with the truth that's going on today and the amazing life that's getting birthed in and through us.
Wow. What an amazing package. All of it excites me, and I love the imagery. I love everything about it. And yes, I mean, I'm feeling like the collective, like, yes. I know that, so that's an awesome package. And that's all in package A, by the way. And package B has all of that. And what else? Time with you.
Your own soul remedy, soul destiny healing. You're going to receive as much that can take place for you. And if you prepare and you open up, and you set your intentions, it can be beyond belief what can get cleared and changed and transformed. And then you'll be receiving your very own divine healing transmission. And yes, we're going to get it all done in 30 minutes because, that it's timeless in those realms, and working with your aspects, it just can be very, very fast. So a lot's going to get done.
Yes. Yes, and what a tremendous gift that will be to those who feel called to do that with you, which I imagine many will. And by the number of hands up of people who just want to talk to you, it's like over half our callers. So we won't be able to get to everyone today, clearly.
Everybody, I'll keep hanging a little bit here.
No, we're going to take a few. We'll take a few because we're also doing a transmission after these calls. We're going to do a transmission to end the show with, so that then you can go off in a state of bliss and go about your day from that state.
But drink water, be grounded, because you might not realize what a high state you're in. So after the transmission, anchor it and make sure you're grounded. And if you're driving, just pull over to the side, And it's a lot of light release. But most of you should be feeling it right now. I mean, it's going to amp up a little bit. We're in it. We're getting.
Aurora, it was starting before the call. Remember? Yeah. I had I had to restart all computers. The light was Anyway, let's take some calls. Are you ready, Aurora?
I am ready.
Okay, guys. First call I am going to is the first three numbers are 501. 501.
That might be me.
I think I hear you. Are you there?
Yeah.
Hi.
I think so. Hi.
Welcome. Who is
wow. My name is Jody.
Well, welcome, Jody.
Hi. This is kind of like my first time doing this. I'm fairly new to this, what my husband calls the woo world, so I might not know the vocabulary to use correctly here.
Go for it.
Okay. I guess my question when I first read about this show is I had a whole genome study done 4 or 5 years ago for a degenerative neurological condition. And I feel like, and I watched my mother live and die with this condition, and I feel like there's more to it than just a physical neurological disorder. And I'm not really sure what question I wanted to ask, but how do I deal with this condition? I mean, as far as I guess I'm understanding I'm not supposed to be resisting it and fighting it, which is what I've always been doing for many years. Rather than just allowing it and to see what it has to teach me.
Yes, absolutely. There's so much you can do. I got such a wealth of awakening and insights, and I was so transformed when I was very, very ill with the heart condition. And they said it was incurable, but here I am. I cured it and cleansed the heart and everything. Now, we don't know what the outcome is, but is a neurological, I'm seeing the Divine Ones work with you right now in your brain area and
exactly. Cerebellum.
What?
No, the cerebellum is affected. Yeah.
That's where, so you're getting a lot of divine assistance, and as I said, the activations, healing music, pure foods, staying in your authentic self most of the time. That will be the most conducive thing you can do to stay on an accelerated healing restoration journey. So you want to avoid a lot of upset and stress and unhappiness. So that's where, you do the inner work and you transform that.
Right.
Transform the fear, the upset, and all of the parts of the emotional component. As you heal that, you can gain access to the cause and core of why that happened. And again, I've given the quest free off of all my websites. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I have that 7-step process available for everyone because I want everyone in the world, no matter what their finances, to be able to utilize this technology. But basically, you work with each thing that comes up gracefully and heal and transform it and get a lot of answers. And those aspects that are emotional will have a direct relationship and be the cause and core of the illness. So that's at the causal level. And then whatever you can do with pure foods and diet and all that to
I've definitely been doing that, But I just, and understanding I can change this for future generations if I'm able to transform this within myself. Is that something I'm understanding correctly?
Just you going on the journey of healing is helping transform the world. because as you do the inner work, as you rise into the glory of your true nature, as you address this Mount Everest you're dealing with, of this very dire condition, and you're showcasing a way for all of humanity of how to deal with these challenges, how to address them on every level, how to support yourself with loving and self-care and nurturing, and how to do everything in your ability to add to the positive outcome and in every area of your life. And in doing this, you are showing humanity a way out. You are actually healing the causal levels of a lot of suffering and misery on earth through yourself, your aspects, your family, and all humanity. So you're helping change the future for the better. So, I mean, there's so much good that comes out of illnesses. It makes me, like, I've wondered so many times, like, is anything bad on this planet? Like, I work with people with stage 4 cancer, and, you know, at the end they're crying, thanking the cancer for giving them such a better life, because what did the cancer do? It made them have a better life. It made them clean up their act, clean up their past, get on a power-packed, you know, lifestyle of healthy nutrition, and then give themselves some wonderful experience. Maybe they were like workaholics. Now they're like bathing in the ocean. And so these things that we look at like horrible, they're really opportunities for great change and advancement. And when they threaten our life, they're true. The silver lining or the golden lining is they're wanting to align us with life, because we have not been aligned with life. They want to align us with vibrant life that is our eternal spirit and our illumined self, and a way of life that was lost here on earth. So there's all great good and light on your pathway. A lot of healing's been taking place. And you've got about 14,000 inner subconscious aspects that are holding this.
14,000?
I feel them every day, I swear.
It's almost like we have these subterranean cities full of our aspects, really. It's amazing how much have been accumulated where they got this virus in our running these programs. So we've got like 14,000 all healing, restoring, and aligning for life, they're telling me, and that more abundantly. Aligning with life and that more abundantly. So open your heart, your mind, your soul to life and that more abundantly. Give yourself an abundant, rich life. Have lots of fun. Do all the fun things you enjoy. Read the dolphin book so you're just laughing, and you might want to go swim with the dolphins and get a dolphin.
I love dolphins,
Yeah, and get a dolphin.
Awesome.
Jody, cheers to your
beautiful.
healing and restoring and aligning and playing and laughing.
As a mother of 5, I'm ready to do that.
Sounds like it's time. It sounds like it's time, Jody.
It is. It is.
One message is coming forth, and it is saying reverse your energies to all this giving and output, to turn it around and just bathe yourself. Like, give that which you've been giving to all these kids in your family, community. Reverse it. You'll always be a giving person, so your kids won't lack anything. But the divine ones want you to reverse it and give it to yourself. Wake up in the morning, what would make me happy today? What wonderful food should I eat now? What fun adventure can I go on this week?
Okay. So I do that without feeling guilty for being selfish. What I'm
You're going to have to do inner work on that. Yeah, that's why the
class.
Well,
the
7 steps on. Yeah, you do the 7 steps on that. Yeah.
Okay, I will definitely find that.
Yeah, if you guys get my newsletter, you can get the book free off the website and add it to your package because you'll love it in with your package. Because as you make positive changes, you're going to have these voices come up, and you want to transform them because Jody are not oriented to what I just told you would be good to do. You are not oriented that way.
Yeah.
No, I am definitely not. My mother actually made a statement to me once. She said, I told her I was taking her daughter in to see a counselor because I said I just didn't feel like she was loving herself. And my mom said, loving herself? She said, I thought being a humble Christian meant to hate yourself.
Oh,
and those were literally her words. I was like, oh, wow, that's where some of this comes from.
Yes, that's the inner work, Jody.
That's beautiful.
That's that's what
right, and I was so glad she said that to me, out loud, black and white. So I'd go, I don't think that's right, Mom, but I do have those aspects in me and watch for them.
Yeah.
And as far as the physical aspects, like this week, what I have is a calcium channel disorder, and that, lets too much calcium into the cells in the cerebellum of the brain, which affects your coordination, your speech, and your breathing, your respiration, all this.
That's why you're getting so much light in all your brain and hypothalamus, all of these, pineal, all of them. You're getting so much help in your brain right now for that.
Well, cool. And as far as, this week what I'm dealing with, and I'm just wondering if you could tell me, I'm sorry I'm taking so much time, but my teeth are all, because of this, I have severe osteoporosis, and my teeth are all about to fall out, literally. I mean, super loose on the top of my teeth. I see a dentist on Thursday, and it's like, they said the only option is to pull them out.
I would,
do I just go ahead and believe that?
Before you do that, okay. We gotta make this like really fast, okay? Because I really
I'm so sorry.
feel all the people that are starting to get antsy because this is taking a long time.
Sorry.
Go on the web and find Dr. Dorio, D-O-R, I think I-O, out of California with the ozone therapy and ozone dentistry, and they'll help you to get an ozone machine and start radiating your teeth with ozone and drinking the water and repair and restore the gums and all that. So
Dorio, did you say?
Dorio, D-O-R-I-O.
Thank you so much.
Jody.
Thank you so much for all of your
welcome.
time.
You're welcome, Jody. Blessings to you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye. That was her first time, and I hope that was very helpful. I know it was helpful for a lot of people, so thank you for being patient with that and offering all of that. We'll go to one more. Let's see. Okay. First three numbers are 508. 508.
Oh, hi, Carrie. Thank you so much. Hi, Aurora. My name is Kate, and I'm so grateful to be able to talk to you. I'm going through a really stressful time in my life. My father passed away about 5 months ago, and the amount of stress and just so much overwhelm I'm dealing with right now in regards to his estate, and I just feel like sometimes I can't survive at all. Like it's just so much negativity and stress in the houses that he had and mortgages, and I'm trying to rent them and trying to sell them, and it's just really just one negative thing after another that keeps happening with them.
Yeah, you have a lot of inner aspects that are troubled and overwhelmed, and that's why it's really important for all of us to heal these instead of be swimming in it. Because if we're swimming in it and we're overcome by them, then we're not effective. And if we just take, that half hour, 40 minutes, and we do the inner work and we heal them, immediately we're back in our authentic self, and we are like rocking it. I mean, we're able to cut through. We're in a positive place where negativity is not affecting us, and we are able to make so much happen in record speed. So it's very important for you to gain mastery in working with these subconscious parts of yourself as they come up, okay? And to not just be overwhelmed and overcome and think that you'll make it through all this and not have adverse effects. Because if we don't do the inner work, we're going to get ill, we're going to have depression, we're going to have, unhappiness. It just keeps going. So it's important, like I said, for all of us to stop allowing ourselves to be run by the programs. They get activated by these very real life scenarios. However, we can cruise through the challenges of life, even severe illnesses and devastating circumstances like you're facing, with ease and grace and skill and mastery. But you've got to be in your authentic self to do it, because if you're in your shadow self, you're in misery. You're overwhelmed. You're overcome. You're not sleeping good. Then you're not eating good. Then you're uptight. Then you're screaming at them, or you're, feel beaten down. And that's a really, really hard way to go through challenges and kind of mean to ourselves. So we want to do the inner work, take the time, do the inner work, get back to ourselves. Then from that place of clarity, that place of loving and caring for ourselves and others, what action steps can we take in that moment to be effective, to handle the situations we're in? Now, the win of a passage like this is, even though it feels like a dark night of the soul, and it's very devastating and hard, is that if we do the inner work, we're going to be like 1,000 miles down our evolution path, like advanced, on a whole nother level when the cycle ends. Now, how would we rather be when the cycle ends? On that mountaintop victorious and so many wins and soul advancement and all these higher states of consciousness than we've ever reached before? Or do we want to be a wreck? Now we're ill. Now we have to deal with the illness and broken relationships and all the messes. So this is a level of mastery, and the Alchemical Keys will really help with it. So right now we're just helping you heal the overwhelmed ones that are up right now. And how's that feeling as they get transformed and the weights are starting to be lifted now? And you've kind of taken all this on as it's all your burden. This is not your burden. You could actually walk away and go on a cruise today and let it all go to hell. You know what I mean? Like, not that I'm saying for you to do it, but it's,
But I signed my Social Security number to all the debt that my father had, and all. It's like I'm the one they're trying to get. Just a lot of sort of vultures and people they were taking advantage of him before he died, and now I'm trying to clean up all of the mess and get things handled, but I don't feel very strong. Like, I feel like I'm being defeated by all this negativity, and like my life has just disappeared, my own life.
You're only succumbing to your inner aspects. Your immortal spirit is unscathed, so you might as well get back into her and be in that radio channel than the aspects, and you've got to heal them, because they're running a full-blown saint martyr pattern, and you're the pure saint, and they're the bad guys, and it's all being done, and it's unfair, unjust, and blah, blah, blah. So we have had this going on in the psyche of humanity. It's one of the patterns I write about that is the most insidious on the planet. So there's a whole healing happening for these saint martyr patterns. It's going out through the whole audience and out to the world, because this is a really big one that's getting addressed right now. So a whole other layer and increment of this is getting healed. You have to absolutely take great care of yourself. Take time to eat. Take time to meditate. Take time for a little recreation and fun, to be with a girlfriend and loved ones while you're handling this, because this is a cycle and not just a 3-day deal. And keep yourself in your authentic self. Keep visualizing the positive, giving grateful thanks for the positive outcome. But for the most part, there's some self-neglecting energy in here in the mix, and if you do that and continue it, I see illness, and so we're helping heal that right now, so you don't have that on your path. Is that you can't just receive this healing and then go back to treating yourself like this. You got to make a shift, because you need to hang in there for the long haul, you see. And you need to be your best and your most effective. That means you got to drink your power smoothies, you got to do the yoga, you've got to do your exercise, you've got to just map out time, just even on your calendar if you need to. And you will find that when you're taking this time for the inner work and the self-care, you're going to be so much more effective dealing with this. What would have taken 5 hours might be an hour. So you don't have to worry about losing time by taking time for yourself. You're going to gain it back in more clarity and more effectiveness.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I'm glad you called, because I know a lot of people can relate to the overwhelm and all of that. So hopefully this was helpful, and sending you lots of love on your journey.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Carrie and Nora. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Aurora, what you're talking about is so important, the self-care component, because with that, we can sail through these challenges that are always going to be there. But what I've found is the consistency factor of that self-care. I mean, putting that first. And, I've done whole courses on redefining the word selfish, because that's why we're here, is to cultivate the nurturing of ourselves. And even if someone were to buy your package that doesn't include the session with you, which ideally that's the best, but the Divine Code activations, Aurora, if they were to listen to something like that, things like that on a daily basis, the level of transformation that goes on internally is profound, isn't it?
Yes, so just by doing that one thing, the outcome, the future would be shifting, more beneficent for them. And so, whatever dire things everyone's going through or challenges, it just is helping clean it all up. So you're going to get a better outcome. You're going to be in a higher consciousness to deal with it. And, the more self-loving and self-nurturing you can be, the more you're going to cruise through and be really masterful and effective. And that's a part of why we're here, too, is to showcase a way of mastery and being effective and using these dynamic gifts that we've been given and knowledge and tools to pave a new way for humanity. So it doesn't do any of us good to just flounder and flop around and neglect ourselves and get ill and miserable over these conditions, because we're not doing anything effective, and we're not going to have a really positive outcome. So we got to work the alchemy, take care of ourselves, align ourselves with the highest destiny path, follow our inner divine selves, listen to these activations. I can't begin to tell you, and the healing music and everything I've given, and infuse your mind. Like if, both the women on the call today read one of the dolphin stories a day, the
level of joy, they would embody a greater level of joy. I mean, cultivating these habits, Aurora, on a daily basis and I'm sure both of us can speak to that personally. I know I can. It makes a world of difference, because challenges arise, but when you listen to this beautiful music and activations and meditate and get out in nature, take care of yourself, eat healthy, move your body. These things sound cliche, but this is how you effectively and most easily sail through the challenges that are inevitable. But and listening to something like what you offer, you've offered such an amazing compilation of the books, the songs, the activations, everything. So I hope that people who are listening and want to take this a step further take advantage of that, because I know how transformational it can be. So. And I wish we could take more callers, but I want to have an opportunity for you to do the live transmission for the group, Aura. So are you feeling like this is a good time to go ahead and lead into that?
Yeah, so much light's pouring in.
Or lead further into that, I should say.
Barely see anything. It's all light. So, yes, I think it's time, everybody. And afterwards, that's it. So I love you all. Thank you so much for joining in today and caring to hear what I have to say, what I've spent my whole life through every rocky way and cliff and everything to bring to you. So thank you. Please spread the word. Please spread the word about my new book and these activations and this offering here today. I'd love more people to avail themselves. So I'm going to start with invocation. And I always like to formally invite in, though, as we can all see, they're rocking and rolling. I mean, we're getting so much help. But I do like to do it. You'll feel the increase of light just from the invocation, and then it gives permission. It opens all the gateways of portals of light, of so much healing that can take place for us all. And then we'll go right into the divine healing transmission and find out who's sharing with us. And so just receive. And, of course, all this work is on very subtle levels, so don't be concerned if you don't feel it or see it or anything like that. It's all happening. And so I don't know, I'm just having so much love pour through my heart right now, I can barely talk.
There are no words.
Forget any more words. I'm going to defer to them. Okay. Centered hearts, everybody. All my love, all my blessings. Beloved Father, Mother, Divine Universal Presence, our inner divine selves and heavenly sponsors, we give grateful thanks for the bountiful blessings, healing, and advancement on our paths, for charging us with light, energy, vitality, expanding our hearts to encompass that divine love that is our truth, our innate divinity, clearing now all and freeing us from all matrices, life sentences of suffering, programs, beliefs, vows, wills, intentions, curses, and anything that is seeds of self-hatred and that has lent to any darkness that has been in our consciousness, being, and world. We lift up and hand to you all adverse conditions in our life, and we reclaim our divine birthright to have abundance, to live in a golden age of light, to have beneficence, to be healthy, vital, to be living in the radiant joy of our divine natures, and to birth a glorious Eden on earth. And we are grateful for the blessing of our loved ones, our family members, all elemental life, all those sentient beings on every plane of existence, and that the great blessing pour in and through us, cleansing, purifying, rectifying, and making right our world, our lives, our communities, our countries, our planet, this system of worlds. And we are grateful, and we accept it done in accordance with divine will and the highest good of all. Hail, legions of light. Hail, mighty victory. Hail, Archangel Michael. Hail, O blessed Elohim. I, Amora, goddess of love, and Elohim from realms on high, come to share a mother's heart with those of you who have gathered into this circle of light to be vessels of the Most High. So have we been gifting you from our realms of the Elohim and many divine ones, great cosmic beings who care so much for this world, have been helping uplift the burdens, the cares off your shoulders and from humanity, to heal the dark matrices within and the stranglehold of programs and patterns and belief systems that have kept you ineffectual in a world that is calling for your mastery and your attainment today. We, the Elohim, Bring an infusion of love and anchor love into every atom, cell, electron of your beings. And let your physical bodies be charged with this illumined light so that you can be the radiant presence of love, which is your true reality, which is the reality that you are birthing in this world under the great divine plan that you aligned with, that you were enlisted to come to fulfill. Yes, beloved, it is love. It is to be an embodiment of love. And so you could say the one quality we all hold most dear within ourselves in these Elohimic planes of existence, of the realms of perfection where we dwell, is love. We are embodiments of love. We are walking, living realities of love. We are encoded with love. And thus we activate the divine codes within you that are love, that bring you back to the love that was lost in eras past, where souls forgot to love themselves. And in forgetting to love self, we're not truly able to love others. And so there have been all kinds of programs and patterns embedded in what people consider caring and loving others. And there's all kinds of human bonds and a stranglehold of conditions that are not true love. Thus today we come to break the bondage and help you be set free, to live in your more fully actualized self with the divine codes activated on this next level. And as you re-listen to this and listen to the different activations that are different elixir codes for you, for your divine awakening, for your full actualization into your true authentic self, know that increment by increment, the change is occurring on the molecular level, and everything within your conscious being world is being restructured back to the divine pattern, back to the light of the truth of who you are and the divine nature that would manifest, the glory of God on earth, the abundant life, a Garden of Eden, first in your home and in your relationships, in your reality, and then as it spreads throughout the world and the many worlds in the system. We come to bring you the bond of love, to unite you with all souls that came in this time to bring in the divine codes, to reactivate humanity with these codes. You see, you are carrying these codes, and we are helping you activate them right on time, right in the perfect moment for the world to receive the light through your beings. You see, you're chalices of light. You're like these holographic fields of divine energy, coded to unlock matrices of the earth and cleanse the darkness in this planetary home. There is so much that takes place beyond your conscious awareness when you align with the truth of who you are. And now that we're in the time where the codes are being activated, now you will see an even greater acceleration and a transformation of all the ills that have beset you in this world into the divine perfection that is the divine matrix that has been set in these codes. So these codes do more than activate you. They allow portals to open of light into this world, and codes that are reactivating the earth into a divine matrix that allows for divine perfection to be manifest in a myriad of forms, including perfect weather patterns and prolific growth of all the abundance of the agriculture projects and all the flourishing of the humans in this world and the elemental life, as well as the purification of the elements and the activation of the divine economy and the divine matrices for the systems of this world. You see, A golden age is being downloaded. It's a template for humanity that through these codes is allowed to anchor in the earth. Because as you clear and as you transform all the dross in your psyche, in your family line, all of humanity is getting cleared. And what is taking place is the allowance of the remedies for a world that is awakening so fast at record speed, coming into an illumined era where souls are illumined, and that then manifests illumination throughout the world. You are the key, you are the codes, you hold the codes, and now with these next ones that have been activated, you will see positive change all around you. Pay attention to the blessings, beloved, and know we are here, serving you with joy, blessing you in every way. Blessing, blessing, blessing you in every way.
Aurora, thank you.
You're so welcome. My joy. Thank you, everyone, for being
so
here.
Beautiful. Gosh, all my love to you. That was tremendous. Thank you.
I'm so glad I got to help launch you with this great blessing, and that blessing for all the shows that you do and all the people that will be gathered and participating in the ongoing gifts that come from it.
Yes. Thank you. What a beautiful beginning to our season, Aurora. Just all my love to you. Thank you again. I think everybody's just like flying high now. I know I am. Okay, everybody, thank you for being with us today. I'm so honored and grateful to have spent this time and space with all of you. I hope the information shared has empowered you to allow for this an illuminated bounce into heightened states of healing, empowerment, clarity, joy, bliss, love, so that you can activate your true full soul potential and realize your divine nature. Thank you for being willing to open your heart and open your mind and expand with us today. It's always a privilege to walk beside you on this beautiful, incredible journey of ours. I'm sending waves and waves of love and light and gratitude from my heart to yours. May you feel it, receive it, and offer it to everyone you encounter today. Remember to check out the amazing offers we have for you from Aurora. You can find them in our marketplace. It will also be in your replay email that you'll receive later today. And I encourage you to say yes if it moves you and resonates with your soul. Remember, between now and tomorrow, give yourself full permission to shine instead of shrink, express instead of suppress, and own that amazing, amazing glow of yours. Have an absolutely beautiful day or evening wherever you are in the world. I look forward to connecting with you in our private Facebook group every day, and again in this cosmic playground of light again tomorrow. So bye-bye, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.